this is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teeside for the 41st week of 2025. The other night at knitting, Helen was working on her blanket. No, it's not a blanket. It may as well be. It's keeping her knee warm. Hang on. I left my iron on. It's one of those things that I come back to the house for. I'm just too warm. It's unseasonably warm here. I opened my front door with October clothing on this morning and the temperature was more or less the same as inside. So layers came off. Anyway, back to knitting. So there was Helen. Helen was making her shawl. What I did forget to tell you was that she took her new spinning wheel that she bought when we went to the threshing barn when they closed down, and she took that to the guild last week and really managed to get going on it. So that was good. Jill has done loads of knitting on her lace project, and we've all done this. You know when you think you know what you're doing and you get your pattern and it says knit until front measures 17 centimetres, and you think, I know that's wrong. I know that's wrong, so I'll knit it till it's 17 inches because they must have made a mistake. So she knit until she had 17 inches. Beautifully, all lace patterned in this red Rialto lace. It's a lovely soft red. I don't like a hard or deep red personally, but this is a nice red. So she knit until it was 17 inches and then it said increase for armholes. And she thought, well, don't you decrease for armholes? Ordinarily. Usually you decrease, and I thought there's not going to be that many mistakes in one pattern. Let's have a look. And I did ask if it was top down, and I checked the pattern and it was top down, which meant that she had knitted, I did work it out, 17 inches. 26 centimetres had to be pulled back. No, my phone's low on battery. That's not good, is it? My screen's gone dull, but I might be able to keep talking. So she had to pull back 26 centimetres and wasn't very happy bunny. But it'll soon be back to where it was.
If you have a friend who's a craftsman,
it has taken quite a while to do this for me.
Music promises to make you something, they will, but it might take 8 to 11 business years.
Put music to it.
I was there. I took baby knitting with me. I have finished back. And I had a bit of a problem with my pattern as well, because it said knit until the back measures 30 centimetres. You know when it's all in your brackets, you have to work out which one's yours, and it said knit until the work measures 28 centimetres. Knit a few, no, 30 centimetres. Knit a few more rows and then it'll measure 28 centimetres. And I couldn't make head nor tail of that, and that was something to do with it measures 28 centimetres at width, which I hadn't read, so I'd made the same mistake as Jill had made. But it's the same width all the way up, so I don't know why they had to put that there. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I've been knitting for a long time, but they obviously felt the need, so there must be a reason for it. Anyway, I've measured it against little one, and it needs to be hurried up with because it'll do quite quickly. Fit all right. Now, that's the back that's done. I showed you last week, and I'm on with the front, which is, it's getting there. So the pattern's a little bit different on the front. But it's nice. And I measured it yesterday against her a bit, and it's I think it's going to do her straight away, so I need to get it finished. And now, after all this palaver, I shall... I'm sure you heard that anyway, but now I'm going to plug my microphone in. Hey, I'm having a disastrous morning. Is that any better? So my disastrous morning was, well, really, I could have done it yesterday, and then the visitors said they were coming early, so I didn't bother. And then I thought, well, I'll do it Monday morning. And then I put my phone on this morning, and it died, which you might have already seen because I've already done some footage, and I don't know what's been saved and what hasn't. But my screen went all dark on me and died. So that wasn't very professional, was it? Right. So I was doing my baby knitting, and we were just getting going, and somebody approached our table and said, "Excuse me, are you a knitting group?" Which quite often people say, "Are you a knitting group?" And yes, we are, we've got our knitting. But it was Michael. He goes to the same coffee shop every week and leaves around 5:45, and we start at 6. So Michael didn't know that we would be there on a Thursday evening. And he did say he'd looked all over the internet and not found us, and we do have things in places. But maybe I should just put us on Google Maps or something like that, and then people will find us. Maybe. Because in the coffee shop there's a poster up that says, ask us about groups. So he said, he went to the counter and said, what do I do about starting a group? Because I've looked all over, and I'll start one of my own. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he sticks with us. So John at the counter said, well, what sort of group do you want to start? And he said, well, a knitting group. And he said, well, they'll be here later. Which was great, because like, really, there's one already here on a Thursday. I'm already here on a Thursday every week, so that was great. So now Michael's, well, he said he was a beginner, but his crochet was really good. And I showed him the stretchy crochet cast on. That's one of my little short videos somewhere. And he did that, and he's working with chunky black. And I don't think I took a photograph, and I hope I haven't scared him off with, because I've shared that I'm a YouTuber. Hey, I'm a YouTuber. I don't really call myself a YouTuber, but you know. Anyway, he might be watching. Hi Michael, if you're watching, I hope you come back. So it's quite thrilling to have a new person join us. And we have some interesting conversations, and it's not all about knitting. Right. Oh, there's a little cat coming. Where was I? Should I do a bit of cat in between? So knitters have cats, don't they? Quite a lot of them. Especially like on Instagram. I am drinking coffee because Emily came home and made some. So I'll show you what the cat has been scratching. This is what she likes to scratch, and this is what I was using as a blocking board. And it was because she started to scratch the wallpaper behind our bedroom door. So I thought, what can I put there quickly? Which was that. That was the only thing I could sort of think to put there. Anyway, she really likes it, but she gets bits of yellow foam stuck in her claws, and obviously it makes a mess. So I bought this, which is adhesive carpet for her to scratch. And I've stuck some of that on, but I don't know. That's noisy. The yellow thing is noisy, so I don't know if she scratched this or not. I think she's a bit put off. I don't think she's keen. It's just typical cat, isn't it? Anything you get for them deliberately, they don't scratch. Oh, it was... So it's good for protecting your furniture and corners because it's adhesive. But the silver stays on. And the only thing that you peel off is this. And it's very thin. And it's really hard to get started. But after that, it was all right. It stuck on really well once I'd got that started. Right. What's next? Other knitting. So my other knitting is the thing I was telling you about, which is, well, I think I might call it 1984. Because it must have been about 1984 that I knitted it previously. And it was a bit of a mystery, but it's less of a mystery now. So I've used 3 different sizes of needles so far. And the first time I made it, and I'm making this more... So the body of the garment is true to tension of the yarn, which is like a 4-ply, so that's on a 4mm. And the top is on my homemade needles. One of my homemade needles, which is this. And I didn't have to put a stopper on the end. I managed quite fine without. And I also used 7mm in between. Because of the big step between 4mm and a 12mm, I used a 7mm in between, which seems to have worked quite well. Now this is in the round, but at the moment I'm only working on the front. So this is what we have for the front, which will be like... I have to knit a little bit more, but I don't want it to garrot me. So I'm going to have... I don't know what... I'm making it up as I go along, so it's a little bit different. So the one I made years and years ago was done on sort of quite... Probably like more of a 6mm and the big one. But it was sort of a holier knit and a very quick knit, which I could have done, but I quite like this like it is. So I'll have to fathom out what I'm going to do next, whether I'm just going to do it straight, because it might just drape, or whether I'm going to put some more shoulder in than in the middle, because I don't like a high neck. I'm sure quite a lot of people don't. So this is discontinued Jaeger luxury tweed, which is a really gorgeous yarn, and I bought it on eBay because I'd bought some other of it in green, and I have made a green jumper before in it that was so lovely. It's kind of lightweight and very, very warm. Very lightweight because of the floof. Alpaca floof. It's is it lamb's wool and alpaca. It was featured all on last week's, I think. I was hunting about, aren't I, for something. Right, have I got any funny topics? Oh yes, I have a friend who went to Shetland Wool Week. I've never really considered going because it is a bit of a journey and a bit of an expense. But this friend, who's probably going to watch, felt so at home that she feels like she needs to be there, needs to move there and live there, especially when it's not Shetland Wool Week, because it would give you a false reading, wouldn't it, going on Shetland Wool Week and thinking it was always going to be like that. And other people seem to be complaining about being stranded there, and, well, I can't see the hardship myself, but, you know, if you need to be back for things, I suppose it's a little bit inconvenient, but I think that is the life of a Shetlander. Inconvenience. Fitting in with the weather and the elements. I would say that that's a big part of living on Shetland. Not that I've ever been. Been to the Isle of Skye, and that was quite brutal. We thought we were in a van, and we thought that the van roof was going to get ripped off because of the wind. It was, you could hear the wind hurtling down the valley. You could hear it coming. And then the van shook. And it was like Rolf Harris and his Ouija board. No, it wasn't a Ouija board, was it? What was it called? I shouldn't mention him anyway. So because I'd been having a conversation with this friend all about Shetland, and her husband had been looking at Shetland because she was there, I went to bed that night and had a dream about being at Shetland. And I was sitting at some knitty conference or some talk, and we were knitting away, and the lady next to me in my dream was knitting with the end of my yarn, or one of the ends. If I was doing colour work, I think she took over one of the colours. That was in my dream, and there were other things, but I can't remember it all now. So that was quite funny. And then my husband said to me, because he's going to be retiring, he said, well, because you see he likes his birds, he's a bit of an ornithologist. He said, we should go next year. I said, well, it's a long way, you know, and it's I think it's quite expensive, which I haven't looked at the tickets for. I haven't even looked. I have no idea if it's doable or not. Well, it probably is, because I can save up. Because he would like to see all the birds up there. And I was like, all right. Oh, look, she's on the scratch mat right now. That's the wrong side, missus. That side. Don't you like your carpet? Typical. No, she likes the yellow mat more. So I don't know if I'll go next year, but if I do go next year, you will know about it. That would be good, wouldn't it? I mean, I should aim for things like that, but sort of resign myself to not bothering. It seems like a lot. And she did say that there's a lot of people there. Yeah, I get a bit overwhelmed with a lot of people over a long period of time. My husband can be a bit overwhelming too. Don't tell him. Right. I have permission to show you something. Now this is going in the blocked calendar for next year. I'll get a link and put it in when I get a link, and otherwise if you look for Blocked Magazine Calendar 2026, or check out Blocked Magazine's website, Instagram, or Two Sisters and Some Yarn has got a link to purchase your calendar if you want to purchase your calendar. So you remember the pink thing I was making? Well, it's kind of like my first design as well for Blocked. So can you guess what it is? She's finished now. She's lying down. This is, I think I'll have to tie my hair up to show you. It's kind of a cowl scarf in one. And it doesn't have to be pink, but mine is. So this is how it works. So this is 50 grams of double knit. It's Rowan Kid Classic mine, and it's a little bit tickly. You might want more of a merino sort of yarn. So the design goes like, I made it so that would overlap a little bit to keep your neck warm at the front, like so, and then we've got a bit of a collar. That's that cat creeping about. And then you can, so these sections are made with two oh, so classy. These are, and then there's obviously there's points on that bit as well. I suppose you could make them shorter, but I wanted to get a good, like a big bow. And it doesn't have to be pink. So that was how it was designed to be. That would keep you warm, wouldn't it? So that's 2 lots of mohair, and that's a double knit. But you don't have to wear it like that. You could just, you don't even have to tie it. You could just wrap it round. Oh, that would be toasty. Look a bit bandaged up. Bandaged. Right, you could wear it like that. Let's see what else we could do. There's a mohair tangled up on itself. So this will be in the blocked calendar. The pattern for it, I think, is going to be in. If you want to make one. I wonder if you could wear it like sideways. I mean, you could do whatever you like with it, couldn't you? Like you do with shawls. You could just wear that down. You can loosen it. Bring it over you. Keep really warm. But it does stay nicely round your neck for when it's absolutely nithering. That would work. So what do you think? Do you think you might want to make one? Doesn't have to be pink, does it? This one was just pink. I decided on pink. I'm having a bit of a pink phase. Actually, it looks quite nice, just like that. Actually, you could just wear it loose. Ooh, look at that. That's nice, isn't it? Tie like a loose bow. So this is called the mohair menace. I was trying to think of all different kind of, because a lot of people don't like mohair, do they? But I do. I was trying to think of something that was menacing, so it's the mohair menace. So that's that. Now we went on a little, you know, for my, like at the end, the endy bits, I always show you somewhere where I've been. So I haven't really been much of anywhere this weekend. But in keeping with the October theme of graveyards and things like that, and in keeping with the politically incorrect knitters puritanical knitting fun run that's being held by politically incorrect knitters, which goes through October and November till the end of November, where you knit something that's 75% dark or darkish, which is that stringy project is my project for that one, and I should get it finished. Should be able to get that finished. So in keeping with that theme and it being October and Halloween being at the end of October, we went to another graveyard, but it's one that I have driven past thousands of times, and we all have who live round here, and never been in. So we took a special journey to go and have a look. On the road, it's all a big industrial area, and on the road there's the what is it, a lynch gate or something? There's the gate with a roof over it that's really quite lovely, and more lovely when you're not driving past and you can have a proper look at it. So in this graveyard there were a couple of war graves. There are many unmarked graves because I've been looking around online doing a bit of research, and it was the graveyard of a church called St John's. So St John's was a church at Haverton Hill, and it was demolished along with a lot of the houses because of pollution. It's on the edge of the docks for the River Tees in Teeside, not far from Middlesbrough, and all the industry and the shipyards must have made it very polluted. So the church was demolished, and all that remains is the graveyard. Just a busy road in the middle of a load of industry, and we've got the war graves and other graves. I have driven past here probably thousands of times and always wondered what it was like. So let's see what we can find. Anything interesting. I'm looking for something older than 1708. The church was demolished in the 1960s. I think there must be a lot of unmarked graves because there was big gaps between the gravestones, and there were parts where you could see there would have been a grave there. So there was a double one that looked like a big double bed. That looked quite cosy. And the best one was the one with a big tree growing out of it. Now I don't know, I mean you can choose to have this, can't you? You can be buried under a tree, which probably costs quite a lot. And this has either just happened or somebody planted a tree on the grave. But it was a beautiful big tree. And things take over. Now there were quite a few leaning stones, and there were some chipped bits, and they do get targeted by by vandals. But sometimes I think they just lean over with age. So there's just a little bit of that. That's about it now, so more news maybe next week. What are you doing? Oh, went to Oldham, got some yarn.